Okay, so before we get started, I just wanted to take a look at some of the files that we're going to be having tonight. We are going to be working on an upload helper, which is going to allow us to upload the pictures like I showed you in the overview, where you can click on the image and then it'll basically push an image that has a very unique name, which you can see based on this profiles directory that I've also made that you will need to make, or a similar directory that you will use. And anyway, this will have all these unique photos, or photos with unique names right here. This is based on the timestamp. I believe it's in like milliseconds or something, and then it gets hashed. Um, the algorithm isn't really that important, so but it's very useful. So that's why we're going to have it there to ensure that even if someone uploads a photo with the same name, that we still have a unique version on the server. The profile.php as well is going to be in there. This is going to be our meat and potatoes of the lab tonight. We're going to also display different behavior based on whether someone is logged in or logged out. And we're going to have this logout.php function that's going to go in. It's going to basically destroy the session and all of its contents. And there's actually kind of two layers to this. So our header.php starts a session every time. So this is basically creating the session variable. It will more or less give us an empty array if a session doesn't already exist. So anyway, we also have a profile.css page. I'll get to that later. We are going to take a look at our logout.php page, and we are also going to take another look at our login helper. Yeah, because what we're going to do is, instead of this success message right here, what we're going to do is we're going to redirect to profile.php upon a successful login. And we're going to just have another header and an exit statement going on in here. I just made this change really quick. You can basically just copy and paste the one below it, modify it so it's going to log in, and make sure that it's not an error, it's a success, just for your information. And then you want to delete this echo statement because we're actually going to have a page going on in there. We don't want that to interfere. So this is useful to help us see whether or not we were being successful or not. These fields that we're basically making right here, these are the keys, and then the data right here is the value that is going to be stored in our session. So we're keeping the UID, the username, which we're going to be displaying today, and then the first name. You really have the option of using the first name or the username to display beneath someone, beneath their profile picture. I'll leave that up to you guys. But let's get to the logout.php page. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start off with our opening PHP tag because it's going to be all PHP. I'm not going to close out of it. So in order to destroy a session, we have to start a session, which is weird. And we're not calling our header file in here, so we don't already have the session going. We don't have that pulled up or anything. So there's two layers to destroying or logging someone out. This is unset. You have session unset and you have session underscore destroy. And what this is doing is this session unset is the equivalent to this. Oops, sorry. Underscore session. Basically setting this to an empty array. Because remember, this session variable here, this global variable that we are using across all these different pages, is an associative array, which is just a key value pair situation. It's an array of key value pairs. So this right here is equivalent to this, more or less. But this is more standard, and it's a little bit shorter. So we use session unset. There's some other stuff that it does as well, but that's the gist of it. The destroy, on the other hand, doesn't just do this to the session variable. What it does is it removes all files as well from the temp directory on Unix systems, which would be like Linux, like we're on currently for our Linux server. So that's going to basically clear our cache of that stuff as well. So that would include the temporary file names for things like our profile pictures that are uploaded, although they should be removed after we actually move those files to their proper directories, which we'll get to in a little bit. But the point is you need these two to log someone out. And then after we're done logging someone out, we're going to send them using location to our index.php page. And then we're going to exit. And that is more or less our logout functionality. Now in our header, we're just going to go in here and you can start to see some of the components of header kind of playing out right here, where you have different behavior based on whether someone is logged in or not. So if someone is logged in using this UID right here, for example, we're going to show these buttons. We're going to show these links right here in our nav bar. If not, all they're going to be able to see is the home one, which is, yeah, home. So profile.php, that's fine. And so this is, if there is a UID, we want this to actually be log out. Logout.php, and if they are not logged in, we're going to have another one of these, and it's going to be login. We're just going to make that login.php. Just to make sure that I don't have any of that stuff going on. All right, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to my login.php page. I'm going to reload this, make sure that everything works still. All right, cool. We're on our profile.php page. There's nothing there because I haven't called anything. So what I'm going to do is, before we get started, I'm going to include that header after I do my opening PHP tag here. In our profile.php page, I'm going to just require includes / header.php, all in single quotes. Since I only have PHP in here right now, that's fine. Going to, great. So clearly someone is logged in at the moment. If I go to profile, now something is wrong. So let me just see where that is. Output. Oh, dot, my bad. Okay, yeah, everything's working correctly. All right, because we are logged in, I'm going to log out, and it takes us to our sign-in page. which does not have a header, which is annoying, and I'm going to fix that right now, actually. So I'm going back to my index.php page, and I'm adding a little PHP tag right there, and I'm going to do that require includes / header.php. And this time I'm going to close it out because I actually have non-PHP code beneath there. There we go. And now I have a header. But I should be logged out. It's probably because... That's interesting. Okay, my mistake. So I actually deleted this guy right here beneath, because what we have going on here is we have this home, which is going to take us to our index.php page. This link is going to stay here no matter what. It's going to be displayed no matter what. So the way this works is if someone is logged in, you're going to be able to display stuff like the gallery.php, the logout button, and the profile button to take people back to their profile. If they're not logged in, assuming that this is empty because someone's not logged in, you're going to have a login button right here. I changed this from logout.php to login.php, and I put login right here for the word. These echo statements are just basically plugging in this this entire HTML piece right here. This it's a list item. That's what li means. So I'm sorry if that was confusing. Make sure that you have login right here in the else for this echo statement right here, and make sure that you just have the home section right here, and that's all for this at the moment. And then that way, when you go right here, if you're logged out, this is what you'll these are the options that you'll have. You can go back to the index page where you can log in, and that's pretty much it at the moment. Okay. And as you can see, now I'm getting 200s right down here. So using good old debugging that I showed you in the last video. And that's it for modifying the header and for the logout functionality. We're going to start actually building the profile page in the next section.